This is Kathy Biehl of Empowerment Unlimited with Astro-Insight for the week of December 13th, 2021. Well, technically, the eclipses are behind us. They're going to be playing out into the end of next spring or fall, depending on where you are on the planet. But it still feels really intense. We may as well still have eclipses barreling down on us. This week we have the first event on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis since that eclipse family technically wrapped up at the beginning of December, and we will be finding ourselves significantly moving on from a lot of the issues that we've been grappling with for the past 2.5 years, which have had a lot to do with the real world impact and power of what we think and what we believe. We are currently in a protracted phase of assimilating and acting on new perspectives, revised and updated perspectives, particularly beliefs about ourselves and how we're going to be in the world. And these are leading to all kinds of shockwaves, ripples, changes, restructuring. The concept of the Great Resignation, which you're hearing about, of people who've during the pandemic decided they're sick of their jobs, they're not going to go back to the conditions in their jobs, they're moving on to something else. The Great Resignation is also slopping over into how we interact with each other. Lots of relationships undergoing big, big changes, restructuring, endings, even fire bombings as a result of the shifts and upgrades in perspective that so many of us now have. We'll be jettisoning some more this week with the Gemini full moon on the 19th, but a lot happens on the way to that point. Two of the inner planets change signs on the 13th, and this is a very palpable shift in mode. Mars goes from deep, penetrating, researching, investigative, secretive, emotional Scorpio to Sagittarius, which is fly high. Let's go on an adventure. Let's try this. Let's try that. There's a slight streak of almost foolhardiness in it. Definitely fun, definitely outdoorsy, lighthearted. Let's have a good time, and maybe smiling at you and hitting you just a bit too hard on your shoulder when he tells a terrible groaner of a joke. And Mercury, the planet that rules what we think, how we communicate our information streams, Mercury leaves that high-flying territory and moves into highly practical Capricorn. So our drive moves into something more exuberant while our thinking and our information move into something much more concrete, step-by-step, goal-oriented. Sagittarius, where Mars is devil may care. Capricorn, where Mercury is where does this get me? What does it cost? And as the two planets make this shift, they're in a really uncomfortable relationship with each other. It's a semi-sextile. It's what I describe as having a piece of gravel in your shoe, and no matter how much you nudge and nudge and nudge, you still feel it, and there's something nudging at you to take the shoe off, take your sock off, shake your shoe, get rid of it. Face something, deal with something. Could be information that's nudging you to take a risk, to do something a little differently. Wait and see. Now, on the 16th and the 17th, we have a similar uncomfortable nudge, nudge, nudge. Something's tugging at your hem. Something's stuck in your shoe and irritating you. That has to do with desire, what you really want, and the cost of things. Venus and Pluto, the two rulers of mere mortal level desire and money, and huge, powerful, subconscious, outside human conscious thought level obsession, compulsion, wealth, power. Something's nudging us to make us aware of something we want, something that's this tractor beam kind of, wong. We're reacting to something that started to lock into place when Venus and Pluto had their first of 3 conjunctions on the 11th. And this is assimilate it, deal with it, face this. More is coming. More is coming on the 25th when they meet again. But even before that, more is coming when Venus begins her once every year and a half retrograde on the 19th, right after the full moon. Venus retrograde in Capricorn. She will be retrograde well into January. As with a Mercury retrograde, you can stick the prefix re in front of almost anything. We'll be revisiting a lot about what we have valued, what we have put our hearts into, what we have desired, money, relationships, objects, creativity, stuff we've made, things we've done with our talents. She's in Capricorn, which is Santa baby territory. I keep saying. So Venus in Capricorn retrograde, we will be going back over what we have been investing in and whether it's been worth it. People will come back from the past. Situations will come back from the past. In our thinking, in our dreams, in our social media feeds, we could have actual in real life contact with them. We will have the chance to pick up parts of ourselves that we dropped in the past. We'll have opportunities to deal with some unfinished business and to see choices we made before, things we valued before. Do they line up with what we value now, what we want our trajectory to head for at this point in our lives? There's a caution that comes with this. New things that pop up, new people, big ticket items, new jobs, things that pop up that are Venus ruled probably do not have the value that you think when you see them, probably do not have the long-term shelf life that you might want. Tread lightly, be careful, keep the lights on and your eyes open when you're making choices and decisions, because there's going to be initially, as she turns retrograde, a little invitation to, oh, why not? Just try, go for it. The sun is in an opportunity aspect to Jupiter, who's the guy that likes to up the ante of any action that he comes near, I always say. And you'll be given openings for, well, indulge. Well, maybe indulge, but don't put a lot of money in it. Don't expect anything long term. Maybe this is old grassroots, sha-la-la-la-la-la, live for today territory. Have a nice, fun time, but don't put a lot of stock into it, whatever it presents itself as. Likely we will already be feeling the year-end wrap-up accelerating. You will probably ditch a lot of things. Find things on your schedule that you don't want to do. Don't be surprised if the throwing stuff out compulsion hits like crazy. You might just be cleaning out your email box, throwing away old greeting cards. No telling. And, oh yes, the intensity's not going away yet. Homing thought of the week. How important is it? Song of the week, I have 2. One from the 80s, What I Did for Love from the musical A Chorus Line, and one's from the 60s, Traces of Love by the Classics 4. And the image of the week is a portrait of the two-faced Roman god Janus, with one face looking to the future and the other face looking to the past. Learn more about all this in my forecast for the Gemini full moon, which will be up at my site over the weekend at empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and get a Jupiter in Pisces quick reference guide as a thank you, and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I am really grateful to the people who support my work there. I post on Instagram at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.